My phone lit up this morning, 34 missed calls. But let me take you back to the night before. It was Friday, and we were at our usual bar. You know the kind, dim lights, cheap beer, and enough noise that nobody notices if someone's crying over a birthday or a breakup. She had on my hoodie, the one she always borrowed and never gave back. She looked good in it, like she always did when she wanted something. I had no clue that was going to be our last night. We were sitting at the table with our regular crew, 6 friends, all half-drunk, mid-laugh. Then she cleared her throat during a quiet moment. So, she said, way too loud, I guess now's as good a time as any. The whole table went quiet. I turned to her, calm, just waiting. And then she hit me with it, smirk on her face. I cheated. It didn't even hurt. The word just landed, like something deep down I already knew but had been trying to ignore. And honestly, she kept going. I needed a real man. Not some tech support guy who spends weekends working on a car that still won't start. They laughed. All of them. My friends. They weren't even surprised. Because they knew. Nobody stood up for me. Tyler, who I used to think of like a brother, raised his glass and toasted her. Damn, girl. Savage. But honest. I respect it. Lexi muttered something about how we all saw it coming. Even Jordan, the guy who used to crash on my couch, just gave me a look. Like, take the loss and go. So I did. I didn't scream. Didn't ask why. Didn't throw my drink or cause a scene, probably what she expected. I just looked at her. Really looked. And I saw it. That hunger for attention. That empty look behind her grin. Like she needed this to feel like she'd won something. And then I smiled. Tossed my keys in the air, caught them. Cool. That was it. I turned around and walked out. As the door closed behind me, I heard them laughing even harder. But what they didn't hear was the plan forming in my head. I wasn't going to beg for anyone who made a joke out of me. I was going to become the kind of man they couldn't ignore. The kind she'd never be able to reach again. Zoe and I met 2 years ago in a coffee shop near campus. She was reading the Tyler jar, had black nail polish, and this chipped silver ring on her thumb. I asked her about the book. She looked up and said, "Only depressed people read this in public." Then smiled. We hit it off instantly. Fast. Deep. Late-night drives. Stupid inside jokes. Falling asleep with her curled up on my chest like it was the safest place in the world. She used to say, "You're my peace." And I believed her. She brought me lunch when I was working late. Called me her anchor, said I kept her grounded when life got overwhelming. When I was fixing up that rusty old Civic in the garage, she'd sit nearby, hand me tools, play music. We didn't have much, but what we had felt real. Or so I thought. Things changed gradually. She started going out more. Girls' nights turned into don't wait up texts. Stopped hanging out in the garage. Started rolling her eyes when I talked about starting my own IT consulting business. "You're always chasing things that take too long," she said once. I didn't argue. Thought maybe she was just tired. Burned out. But the truth was, she was already looking for someone flashier. Someone louder. That someone turned out to be Ryder. A bartender. Great abs. No personality. Then the friend group started shifting. Tyler started hanging out with her more than me. Jordan stayed neutral. Even Lexi, who once bawled her eyes out to me about her ex, suddenly went radio silent. That night, I didn't just lose my girlfriend. I lost all of them. And weirdly, something inside me snapped into place. It wasn't anger. It wasn't heartbreak. It was clarity. They didn't turn on me because I was weak. They did it because I was quiet. And they thought quiet meant powerless. They were dead wrong. I didn't sleep that first night. Just lay there staring at the ceiling, replaying that whole scene in the bar, her smirk, Tyler's toast, the way they looked at me like I was some pathetic punchline. The next morning, I checked my phone. No apologies. No voicemails. Just one group message. From Jordan. "Hey man, hope there's no hard feelings. Let's try to be mature about this." Mature? Like laughing in my face while she blew up our relationship in front of people I used to call friends? I shut it all down. Deleted social media. Blocked them. Wiped her contact, but not the memory. Then I stood in front of the mirror. Not to feel sorry for myself, but to take inventory. If they all thought I was easy to throw away, I was going to build someone impossible to ignore. The plan? Start small. I called up an old professor who once told me I had CEO energy. Signed up for night classes in cybersecurity. Started waking up at 5 a.m. to run, even when every muscle screamed at me to quit. I cleaned up my diet. Trained harder. Read more. And most of all, I worked. 10-hour days. sometimes longer. Consulting. I was freelancing, fixing networks, setting up systems for small businesses. I said yes to every gig that came my way, while they were out drinking, partying, and acting like betrayal was a personality trait. Meanwhile, I was building a version of myself they wouldn't even recognize. I went silent. No one knew where I'd gone. Not Tyler. Not Lexi. Not even Zoe. Especially not Zoe. She never reached out. Never said sorry. She was too busy posting filtered selfies with Ryder, captioning them with stuff like, "Love always wins." Cute. But let's see how long that lasts when the money runs out, the excitement fades, and the guy she left behind isn't behind anymore, he's way ahead. 2 months after the breakup, I completely disappeared from my old life. No texts. No tags. Just me, my routines, and a whole lot of silence. And I loved every second of it. Work took off. One freelance job led to a contract. That turned into a referral. Then came a monthly retainer. Before long, I was earning more in 1 month than I used to make in half a year. I registered my own LLC, built a clean, minimal website, and suddenly, companies that never responded to my job applications were sliding into my DMs. All without a single post. All without announcing a thing. Because honestly, the most powerful kind of growth is the kind no one notices until it's finished. Physically, I changed too. Dropped 18 pounds. Cut carbs. Ran 6 days a week. Lifted heavy. Cleared up my skin. Got a real haircut for once. Confidence didn't come from compliments, it came from discipline. I started dressing better, not to impress anyone, but because I finally respected myself enough to look the part. One night, I caught my reflection in a shop window. I actually stopped and stared. Would she even recognize me now? Didn't matter. This version of me wouldn't have put up with her for 5 minutes. I wasn't posting, but others were. I started showing up in tagged photos, client launches, networking mixers, charity events. And a few of Zoe's friends still followed the people I was working with. That's when the ripple started. My phone started buzzing again. Lexi, hey stranger. You look good. Hope you're doing okay. Tyler, heard you started your own thing. That's wild. Respect. Jordan, dude, your name came up in a client meeting, lol. You killing it? I ignored them all. Because the guy they used to know? He was gone. They buried him the night they laughed in my face. I just gave him a proper send-off. Then came the first crack in her armor. Zoe started posting less. Then stopped altogether. 2 months without a single post. And then, one shaky IG story from a mutual friend's birthday. She was in the background. Alone. No Ryder. No smile. Just her, sitting in the corner of a party she used to run. Looking tired. Older. Dim. No captions. No real men quotes. No glow. I didn't smirk. Didn't feel smug. I just felt done. Not proud. Not bitter. Just detached. Because when someone tears you apart in public, and you rebuild yourself in private, there's a moment when even their name stops carrying weight. That moment came on a gray Sunday morning. Coffee brewing, quiet house. I was reviewing a pitch deck when my phone lit up. One call. Then another. Then another. In 2 hours, 34 missed calls. Zoe. Tyler. Lexi. All of them, flooding in like smoke from a fire they didn't want to admit they started. Then the texts came. Zoe, I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but please, can we talk? Zoe, everything fell apart. I just need 5 minutes. Please. Zoe, I messed up. You didn't deserve that. I see that now. Then Tyler, yo man, I was wrong. Real talk, we all were. Tyler, she told us stuff. Said you weren't treating her right. I didn't know the truth. Of course they didn't. They never do, until they're not invited anymore. Then Lexi chimed in. Lexi, I was a coward. You were always the real one. We picked sides, and now she's crying on my couch. Lexi, she says you won't answer. Are you okay? I was fine. She wasn't. And here's the irony, they treated my silence like weakness for months. Now, that silence was eating them alive. The last message came from Zoe. Around midnight. Zoe, I thought I wanted someone exciting. What I got was someone fake. Ryder left. He cheated. He's broke. I'm broke. I miss you. God, I miss you. Zoe, you didn't deserve what I did. You were the best thing in my life. Zoe, please just respond. Please. I stared at that one for a long time. Watched the typing bubble appear, then vanish, then reappear. Eventually, I locked the screen. Set the phone face down. and went to sleep. Because by the time they realize your worth, you're already too far gone. You become someone they'll never get to meet again. The next morning, another wall of messages. You probably hate me. I get it. You don't have to talk to me. But please, just say something. I miss who we were. I miss who I was with you. That line? That's the one that hit. Not the begging. Not the apology. It was who I was with you. Because that's what really broke. She didn't just lose me. She lost the version of herself that only existed when I believed in her. And that version? She was never getting back. So I replied, no drama, no anger, just the truth. Me, you didn't just choose someone else. You made a show out of humiliating me. And when I left, I didn't just walk away from the relationship. I walked away from the version of you who thought I wasn't enough. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm just done. Take care of yourself. Then I blocked her number. That was my closure. I didn't wait for a response. Because the best kind of revenge? It's not about breaking someone. It's about becoming so whole, so complete, that they can't even imagine being a part of your world anymore. And while they spin in regret, you sleep peacefully. Because revenge doesn't always come with flames. Sometimes, it's just never turning around.